Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel. In my last video I let you guys know all of the things coming within year 2 of Rogue Company, all the things to look forward to, but I left out the balancing changes for its own separate video. Well, here is that video. I'm going to talk about all the rogue changes, weapon changes and map changes that you can look forward to in the next update or the year 2 update due in February. If you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure you drop that like and subscribe. For now though, let's get into it. Let's kick this off first with the rogue changes, and the first rogue on our list is going to be Sigrid. Sigrid is one of those rogues that isn't played very much, not at a very high level and rarely played in ranked unless someone is trying to be annoying and go for a bit of a cheese strategy. So they're buffing Sigrid to make her more widely popular. In doing so, they are increasing her shield size by 15%, meaning she's much harder to hit on some of those outer edges and getting those little angles on her. Her shield is also getting a buff to its damage, its bash damage, so that it will deal 50 damage rather than 40, making it a 2-tap instead of a 3-tap when it comes to meleeing people. And her passive, which if you don't know, increases her movement speed while crouch, is getting a buff also, so she'll move even that little bit faster while crouched. Personally, I don't like these changes. I think Sigrid is that cheese, that annoying character that I don't really like to play against, so I'll probably be banning her every single rank game from now on, just so I don't want people to feel so comfortable bringing out a shield and not being able to win a gunfight by charging me down and bashing me with a shield. So we'll see how this develops, see whether Sigrid is going to be that good going into the next patch, but these buffs and what I've played on the PTS so far do make her feel kind of strong right now and kind of hard to kill. Trench is getting a small fix where his barbed wire, the area that it shows it's going to deploy in, matches the actual area that the barbed wire will cover, so it will look the right size for when you throw it. Vi is getting a change that she has needed ever since Dahlia's release all the way back last year, and this is her passive rework. Vi's poison vials will no longer give Vi health. They will still take permanent health from the enemies, but they will no longer give her that additional health. Now the way that Vi will gain her additional 25 HP is through her new passive. This new passive is called Leeching Rounds, and what it does is that when Vi is shooting people, a portion of the damage she does is returned to her as HP. From my testing, it seems like every 10 damage she does with a firearm gives her 1 HP. Now this isn't saying that she heals constantly when shooting, she's just going to get enough health to give her that extra 25, and that'll be it. She won't get any health after that. I do like this change. I think it works really well for Battlezone and respawn modes. I'm not sure how much impact it's going to have in demo unless you're going for really extended trades where you're going to be dealing more than 100 damage to each person, because you need 250 damage, which is 2 kills and a half, to get that extra 25 health maxed. So unless you're taking a lot of trade battles as Vi in demo, you're not really going to see the massive benefit of this. So I do think it's a respawn mode thing, I think it's a Battlezone thing, but we'll see how it develops in the game, and I think it's a good change. This also does mean now she's a viable link with Dahlia, who can also gain 25 HP from her firearms if she's linked to Vi. Weapon changes are up next. I actually love what they've done the weapons as a whole. Essentially what they've done is for a lot of weapons, they've increased the recoil, but decreased the bloom. Bloom is the spread of the bullets when you shoot it, and is a random feature. Recoil, obviously being a recoil pattern, is something you can learn and control. What this means is for most weapons that they're doing this on, they're increasing the skill gap by making it more about players' ability to control the weapon rather than relying on the randomness of bloom. But let's start with the Aaron L212, a very underused weapon and not really one people like. This is getting a big buff with its magazine going from 12 to 15. Its field of view is changing to match more of an ACOG scope rather than the sniper scope type thing it has on at the moment. And it's also getting a massively increased hipfire accuracy. And from PTS testing, it seems that people are running around with this thing, hipfiring it instead of aiming it down sight, making it very strong. In terms of the AR category, the HRM30K is getting slight increased recoil. The Sahara is getting a vertical recoil increase, and its upgrade, which improves its recoil, is going to be less effective now. Moving on to SMGs, the SLC is getting an increase in vertical recoil and that decrease in bloom. The D40C, one of the strongest weapons at the moment, is getting an increase in vertical recoil, a decrease in bloom, and again, its upgrade, which improves its recoil, is going to be less effective. 24S is the exact same thing, increased recoil, decreased bloom, less effective weapon upgrade. Then the Objection, the Knight, and the LMPX are all getting a reduced bloom, but no changes to their recoil or upgrades. The Tier Sniper is getting a reduced vertical recoil, so it won't kick it quite as hard when you go for that second shot. And finally, the Arbitrator is finally getting its nerf that it's needed so badly, and its first fall-off damage range, so its mid-range damage, is getting decreased. Upon testing, this still needs to go down a little bit further in my opinion. It's still 2-tapping at that second range, which I do not like, and I do think it needs to be nerfed a little bit more, but they're at least moving in the direction they are hearing what we're saying about how busted this weapon has been. Now we move on to map changes, and I want to visually represent these for you guys so you can see exactly what's going on, but with canals. They are removing some of the boxes over here on B site to make them mantleable. They are also going all the way over to the boathouse in the attacker side spawn and allowing you to get on the roof by jumping on the doors. Wanted is getting a very small change, allowing you to mantle some other places, including the fruit stand and statue, which are located outside, which is quite nice for you guys to actually be able to do. Vice has now allowed you to stand on the blue tent, which is situated right in the corner of B site, and it's actually a really good position. There's a little bit of a bug with it in terms of the speakers that are up there, which allow you to phase through them, which you obviously don't want to do, but I'm sure that'll be patched before it comes to life. And for Velis is one of my favorite changes, and it's really simple but really fun, and that is you can now get on top of the Panther, which is situated on the far left or far right, depending on which side you spawn, and this offers actually like some good height advantage and good outplayability, but there aren't many lines of sight, which is that beneficial for. And then the last set of changes I want to talk about are the battle zone changes they've implemented. This is the first update of battle zone since its conception, so we want to see exactly how they've listened to our feedback. So the changes they're making are that friendly damage are going to be reduced, circle damage is going to be reduced, the new smoke grenade pop smoke, which is for glimpse, is going to be added to the gadget sets. Armor will now drop when you eliminate a player, so upon killing someone you can pick up their armor. They haven't expressed whether that is going to be full armor you just put on, you have the health, or whether you have to repair it. I do hope it just automatically puts on the health for you. They've also added the Mythic Claymore swing damage up to 125 rather than 100, so you can fight and 2-tap somebody with Mythic armor. The upgrade cost for lethal gadgets has gone from 1,000 to 1,500. C4 have been reduced in cost from 3,000 to 2,000 just because of how underused they felt like they were. The last change is that the health you are revived with is going to be 40 now instead of 50, so a little bit of a nerf there. They've also changed the look of all of the cases to make them a little bit cleaner, a little bit more techy and professional, because they thought that'd be a good quality of life thing, just to help the aesthetic of the game mode. And then we're going to see 4 new weapons being added as potential mythic weapons, including the 24S, the Riptide, the Katana, and the Sledgehammer. That pretty much goes over all the balancing changes they have planned in this next update of Rogue Company that we've been able to see in the patch notes and play on the PTS. And I'm pretty happy with the direction. I think some we're going to have a bit more testing to see if they're right, but I overall like the direction they've gone of making weapons specifically harder to use and have more of a skill gap for players. I spoke in my last video about Project Saint, which is their way of reviving Rogue Company with a focus on bug fixes and listening to the community. And I think I'm going to make a whole separate video on that to explain to you guys what it is and what they're going to be focusing on in the coming future, so you guys know their plan, because I think it's a really good job that they've done, and I really want to highlight it for you so you know exactly where the direction of the game is going to be heading over the next couple months. So you should look forward to another video on Project Saint coming soon. Okay then guys, that takes us to the end of the video, and if you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/RADTHARGAMING to see live gameplay comments, including the PTS, Soda Rogue, and a bunch of other things I'm sure you guys will love. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless. I'll catch you in the next video.